So I received an inquiry from a real estate investor based on my previous video, and the man asked, "Is government allocation a safe property title, not only in Ibeju Lekki but other parts of Lagos? What exactly is a government allocation title? What does it indicate? What are those important things that real estate investor needs to understand as they are buying properties with government allocation?" So on today's episode, I'm going to be sharing a lot of light into government allocation, and I'm also going to be talking about three important questions you need to ask the Ibeju Lekki real estate developer. Please, if you're coming across this channel for the first time, do well to subscribe to this channel. Valuable informations are being shared. Support us by subscribing, turning on the notification bell, and of course, you can also drop your comment and share this important broadcast with your friends. Trust me, informations like this will go a long way to protect your loved ones from making a costly real estate investment decision. See you after this short commercial. Don't go nowhere. Okay, you're welcome back. So today I'm going to be responding to the question I got from a real estate investor, and I'm going to be explaining everything you need to know about government allocation as an important land title if you're buying in Lagos, more importantly, the Ibeju Lekki corridor. Now, what is a government allocation? A government allocation is a title that is being given in a place that is being acquired by Lagos. Now, when you look at land title classifications, we have committed acquisition and we have non-committed acquisition. Non-committed acquisitions are lands that were never acquired by the government. These are lands that never fell into government project or government project or any other facilities upgrade that may be coming. So if you have a property that is non-committed, you don't need to be worried about train station, right of way, demolitions and the likes. All you need to do basically is get your survey and process of your C of O straight without any hassle. But if you have bought a property in a place that is committed, now it now depends on the kind of committed portion of the land. So that means that the committed land can be reacquired through the process of getting what we call the process of getting a government allocation. Now, before a government allocation is given, such properties are later developed into scheme. For instance, in Ibeju Lekki, we have the Ayetoro scheme, we have the Berekodo scheme, we have the Yeguda scheme. There are several other schemes. We also have the Labour City scheme that is being projected, and for Ekpe, we have the Ekpe Mixed Development Scheme. Now, if you are buying into any of this scheme, what you will get is what we call a government allocation. And one of the reasons why government introduces government allocation is due to the fact that in time past, government have come to realize that a whole lot of real estate development companies buy properties and they don't put the necessary development that can make the place very, very habitable, and of course, that can also attract investors. So the idea of subdividing properties into scheme is to ensure that developmental goal for that particular location is actualized. And that is why you'd understand that for every government allocations, for every government scheme that we have in Lagos, they come with their own layouts, they come with their survey, and of course, they come with every other plans that government intends to actualize for that region. So it is very important for you to know that if you're buying into any of these schemes, these are some of the things you should look out for if you're buying. Now, it is also important for you to understand that for every government allocation, there is a purpose acquired for it. Generally, we've been made to understand or believe that as long as the property has a government allocation, it is safe. Yes, 100% it is safe, but it is very important that you go further to find out what the allocation that was issued by government, what that allocation or the purpose the allocation is supposed to serve. Now, there are some allocations that are designed, okay, to serve for residential purpose. There are some allocations that are designed to serve for agricultural purpose. There are some allocations that are designed to serve for industrial and commercial purpose. Now, it is very important that you look further into that allocation and you find out that the developer you're buying the allocation from is working in conformity to what government have designed that allocation to be used for, so that when it comes to the future of building or you want to do your future development, you won't be at loggerheads with government when you want to start applying for building plan permit or building approval. Because you see, if you want to seek a building plan approval and the development company is not using that, or they're not using the allocation of what government has specified it to do, there will be a struggle, and of course, it can affect you in the future. So when a developer buys a property directly from government, it comes with a government allocation title. And obviously, it is very, very good. However, it is also important for me to state very well that when you have a government allocation, it is just a step out of several steps that ensure the safety of that investment. The reason why I'm saying this is due to the fact that there was a particular time in the history of real estate in the Ibeju Lekki corridor, whereby if you have an excision title on the property, that excision is good to go. It to serve the purpose. And a lot of real estate development company bought and sold excised land. But what many of them fail to do basically is that buying or acquiring an excised land is just a step out of several other steps that must be taken in order to ensure that that property will not have issues. Now, I will also say, I said it in my previous videos, that most of the titles that were projected to be excisions, after further deliberation and further due diligence, we found out that some of the excisions were never gazetted. They were excisions in process. And if any title is in process, it makes it extremely easy for government to reacquire that property. And so I would say that government allocation that we have today is a little bit synonymous to the excision of that time. Because right now we've been made to believe that as long as your government allocation is sufficient, yes, it is sufficient because you are buying directly from the government. But government expects you, okay, to go further. And what do you need to do? Basically, is that you need to process a C of O. And that is why it is very important that when you have a government allocation, you must have it together with a C of O to show that you have taken full possession. Now, with that C of O, it makes it extremely difficult for government to transfer or sell that place to another person. Another thing real estate investor you need to understand basically is that a lot of real estate investors have reached out to me for me to help verify some of the allocations that some real estate development company claims to have in Ibeju Lekki. And my discovery is very, very disheartening. And this obviously is not to discourage you from investing in Lagos, but it's very important that you do or you work with the appropriate agency, whether you're working through us or any other thing. Now, one of our discoveries basically is that allocations presently right now is sold at a particular amount of money. Like there's an amount of money government will charge for 1 acre of government allocation. There's a particular of money that government will charge, okay, for 1 hectare and several hectares that you may have in that estate. Now, because of the fact that some of these real estate companies find it extremely difficult for them to pay or get the allocation to cover all the acres, many of them do this allocation in batches. So it is very important for a property to be advertised to you as allocation, and you find out that out of 50 or 100 or how many acres of the land may have, the allocation may be covering maybe just 2 or 3 acres. These are some of the possibilities and some of the discoveries that I have discovered as far as doing proper due diligence before we make property recommendations to real estate investors. Now, there are a lot of things I would have loved to say, but some informations are generally not meant for the public, because I've seen several instances of where we have been misquoted, and these have also sparked a lot of reactions, and we don't want to create a common enemy. And that's why sometimes I've always said that if you want to do any form of real estate investment, you can contact us. Some of the information we are not enabled to share online, we will share it with you and guide you on how and where you should invest. That is number one. Now, going forward, should I buy a government allocation title land? Is it safe for investment? Yes, it is safe for investment, but you must acquire it under the following conditions. Now, if you're buying a government allocation title, now because of the fact that we have seen several instances of how government policies are changing, there was a time whereby if you have excision on a land, that excision title is sufficient, okay, to to protect the land. But right now, to my greatest surprise, there are some excised land that has been resold to people in the place of what? Government allocation. So what you must now do is that government allocation is safe for investment, but is either you buy from a developer that will not stop at the allocation, that will get a C of O, or you buy it with the intention that you will process that C of O by yourself. Now, a lot of questions I've received from real estate investors basically is that, can you help us to process your C of O? I am not a surveyor, I am not a lawyer, and I don't work with Lagos State government, but we've been able to help one or two people by giving recommendations. So if you're expecting me to help you to start, I only give recommendations on people who can do it, because transparency is very key at what we do. So my advice, so that what has happened to those who own excision in Ibeju Lekki will not happen to you, I will further advise that you process till you get a C of O, and of course you can safeguard. That is where that property will serve that purpose of purchase. That is number one. So there's also important things you also need to do if you are buying a government allocation land. Now, where a lot of investors will have a lot of problem basically is for those who are buying allocations from some companies, is due to the fact that some of these real estate development companies that are selling government allocations don't have development goal at mind, at heart. Now, what exactly do I mean by that? A lot of people are selling most of these government allocations to fund some of the big developments that they will be doing in the future. So what you must do basically is that you must understand the developer's intention. So in doing this, you need to find out and ensure if the developer will abandon the estate or not. So this is where we come in basically, because there are some questions you don't ask because we have experience and we know those who will deliver and we know those who will struggle to deliver. So this is very important. So I'm going to be doing a video where I'm going to be talking about 3 important questions you should ask your Ibeju Lekki real estate developer before you buy from them. And despite the fact that a lot of people, real estate investment or real estate development in Lagos right now can be attributed to some of these juicy political positions. Of course, real estate is tagged as, because of its profitability, people with experience and people without experience and competence are actively, involved in buying properties and reselling to real estate investors. Of course, it's a good thing, but the reason why a lot of people will be disappointed is that many of these people may fail, okay, to live up to expectations. And why would they fail? Number one, government policies will come back to haunt a lot of people. Number two, many of them will fail, will struggle to keep up with the requirements. And number three, many of them are deliberately violating some government rules and regulations. And of course, there was this real estate development company that a real estate investor wanted to buy from, and this investor paid us. It's not free. So when I talk about due diligence, it's not free. We are paying lawyers, we are paying surveyors to get all this information, so it's not free. So this particular investors paid us. The good thing is that they have the title, they have everything, but we found out that this particular real estate company was evading tax. They were evading tax. They were not regular taxpayer. They have a lot of things, and based on our recommendations, you'll be the one to judge. If you find out that a real estate development company is evading tax, do you think it's good to you to protect? Because you see, government is looking for an opportunity to nail you. And as a real estate development company, you don't provide them that option. Else, let me use the word of VDM, they will learn and learn the hard way. So this is where I'm going to draw today's curtain of government allocation. All you need to know about government allocation title in Ibeju Lekki. In case you find this video helpful, please subscribe to this channel. And of course, if you want to buy real estate through us, you can also do that. That option is equally available. Subscribe to this channel, turn on the notification bell, share this video with your friends and family. Trust me, they will thank you if they are if they have opportunity to this information I just shared. God bless you. Bye for now.